Hi, this is Jim Mann with Homestyle Southern Cooking. It's so nice to be back with you today. Thanks for letting me come back in. Today I'm going to make what I call is my magic cobbler. I use this for so many different type of cobblers. I have a baking dish here, and I can use any type of cobbler mix that I want. I can put cherry in there, strawberry, I can put blueberry, blackberry. It all makes the same way. So what we're going to do is I've got my dish here. I've got 1 stick of butter. I'm going to put the 1 stick of butter right here in my corningware pan. Then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to preheat my oven to 350 degrees. I'm going to put this in there. When the timer goes off and lets me know that it's 350 degrees, the butter will have melted, and we'll come back and we'll start putting this together. So I'm going to take this over to my oven, put this in my oven. I'm going to preheat my oven to 350 degrees. It's preheating, and when that goes off, I'll be back to see you. I decided while that was preheating, we'll go ahead and do the batter. So I've got my bowl here, and I've got self-rising flour. So I'm going to use 2 cups of self-rising flour. Now this is not plain flour, this is self-rising. So there's 1. There's 2 cups of self-rising flour. I can put that aside. To that, I've got 2 cups of sugar. I'm going to add 2 cups of sugar. That's 1. That's 2 cups of sugar. So it's 2, 2, and 2. Can't get any simpler. And I'm going to add 2 cups of milk. So it's 2 cups of self-rising flour, 2 cups of sugar, and 2 cups of milk. Then I'm going to take this and I'm going to whisk this all together. And this will be done so when my pan is warm and is preheated and the butter's all melted, I'll have my batter all ready. So I'm just going to stir this and get this really well stirred. And we'll just wait for the timer to go off. Wait for the timer to go off on the oven. And we're going to make our magic cobbler. Today's magic cobbler, by the way, is going to be a cherry magic cobbler because I'm just in the mood for a cherry cobbler this evening. Okay, our oven is almost preheated. It's at 344 degrees. It's almost preheated to 350. So in a second, that's going to go off. When that goes off, I'm going to take my pan out of the oven, and then we'll do the second part. But it's going to go off right now, and so I will take it out. 349, 350. So it's ready to come out. So let me open this up. And as you can see, my butter is nice and bubbly on the bottom. And it's nice and bubbly, and I'm going to smooth this so I spread it all the way around. Now what I'm going to do is I tell you we're going to make a cherry cobbler. I've got 2 cans of cherry pie filling. Like I said, you can use blueberries, blackberries, strawberries, whatever you want to use. But I'm going to put these 2 cans right in here like this. This butter smells so good. Make sure I get all of each one of them. This is such a simple recipe, and the recipe works on all cans. Now, I would tell you if you decide to use the cans that has sliced apples, sometimes it depends on the brand name. There's more juice than there is apples. So on that one, sometimes I use 3 cans, okay? But on the rest of these, I just use, on the strawberries, the blueberries, the blackberries, I just use 2 cans. I want to get it all out of here. And just sort of push this around a little bit, get some scattered around everywhere. Looks good already, doesn't it? I mean, it looks good to me. All right, and then what I'm going to simply do is I'm going to take my batter that we made up, take my whisk out here, and I'm going to simply take my batter and I'm just going to sort of pour it over top of this. Pour it all around, all over it. Okay, then after I pour it over top of it, I take a spatula and just kind of go through it a little bit and just sort of spread it around just a little bit. Okay. It's nice to have some of those cherries kind of showing to it, but you want to make sure that you've got cherries everywhere. Now, the last thing I do, which you don't have to do, is I've got some really thick sugar for baking, like for cookies and everything. Now you can use regular sugar if you want to, but this is a real thick sugar. You can see how thick it is. I'm going to take a little bit of this thick sugar and put it right on the top of it. It's almost like heavy granular salt, but it's sugar. And you should be able to buy this in any baking store or in a place like that. I'm going to put that on it. If you don't have this sugar, put regular sugar on it, or you don't have to put any sugar on it at all. I just like to put it on there. I think it gives a little extra punch. Now I'm going to put this back in my oven at 350 degrees, and it's going to bake for 1 hour. And at the end of 1 hour, we'll take it out. So I'm going to put it in my oven. Oops. I'm going to put the pan there too. Put it in my oven. I'm going to set my timer for 1 hour. And I'll see you back in 1 hour. Our cherry cobbler is out of the oven and has had a chance to cool down some, and it looks absolutely fantastic. This is why I call it my miracle cobbler, because it makes its own crust. And if you can see at the bottom of it, you can see all the fruit at the bottom. It's so quick. It was like 2 cups of sugar, 2 cups of self-rising flour, and 2 cups of milk. That was the batter, and put your fruit in the plate with a little bit of butter. So let's try it and see. I'm going to cut around this in right down here. Oh, look at that. As you can see, it's still very warm. Now, doesn't that look good? And you can see inside here all the cherry inside the cake. Now is the true test. Get a little piece of the crust here, a little bit of the cherry. Oh my goodness. As soon as I finish doing this video, I will get in the car and go get some vanilla ice cream. Boy, a big scoop of vanilla ice cream, that, or some Cool Whip on top of this would be outstanding. It's really good. And it's a basic recipe that you can use with any type of fruit. So you need to give this a try and see what you think about it. Thank you for following me on Facebook and subscribing to me to YouTube. If you look at the bottom of YouTube, you'll see a place that says subscribe and a little bell. If you'll hit them both, every time I make a new recipe, you'll get a copy of it and you'll know that I've done a new one. You've been a great support for me, and I appreciate each one of y'all that has subscribed. You mean the world to me. You're part of my family. Until next time, I've got some really neat things and we'll bring you for Valentine's. I think one of them we'll do tomorrow that's really a unique gift. I will see you. Take care of yourself. Know that I'm thinking about you. Give yourself a big hug, and thank you so much for letting me come in and spend time with you again. You're so generous with your time to take time with me, and I appreciate that. So you take care of yourself. I know that this is Jim in Mexico saying, God bless you.